Well, and you can now start adding the people.
Yes, I've started adding people. Hello, everyone. Welcome. We will start in 5 minutes.
Hi, Ka. You and Abum Satham.
Ganesh, you can also mute everyone.
Pratham, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, you've muted everyone else.
Yes. Yeah, 75 people have joined. We'll just wait for two more minutes. We can get started at 7:05 or 7:06.
Ganesh, is my screen visible?
Yes, the screen is visible, but audio थोड़ी सी weak.
Okay. It's 7:05. Let's wait for another 2 minutes. Then we can start. Okay. Ganesh, let's start. Okay,
Yes.
so hello everyone. Welcome to C4GT's Meet. I'm Pratham, and with me on the call we have Tanuj. So both of us are working as associates in C4GT. C4GT and DMP. We'll be talking about all of that in detail. So quickly, let me just share my screen and we can get started. And also for the information of all of you, this session is being recorded. It will be later available on C4GT's YouTube channel. Cool. I hope my screen is visible. Tanush?
Yes, we can continue.
So, welcome to C4GT, guys. The goal for C4GT is that we facilitate pathways for contribution to open source products for social impact. We'll be discussing all of this in detail. So, there are certain open source technologies like TPGs, which are aiming to enable the achievement of sustainable development goals. So, in this basic and earlier part of the presentation, we're kind of trying to understand what is C4GT and what exactly are we trying to do here. So there are certain open source pieces of technologies that aim to achieve sustainable development goals. Sustainable development goals are goals like eradicating poverty, eradicating hunger, maintaining good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, and all that. So there are certain open source technologies that aim towards these sustainable development goals, and we call them digital public goods. Now, what are digital public goods? Let's dive into that. So there is another term, something known as digital public infrastructure that we call as DPI. So all of us use DPI without actually knowing about it. So for example, Aadhaar, nearly everyone in this meet would definitely have Aadhaar cards. Everyone here uses UPI. We know about ONDC, Namayatri, we use DigiYatra, and all of us got our COVID vaccination certificates from the CoWIN platform. So this is all digital public infrastructure. While we have used all of it, we do not know what do we call it. So this is called digital public infrastructure and the building blocks of digital public infrastructure. So there are certain tech pieces which are big enough and they cater to the entire population. In those certain smaller pieces of tech are used. Those smaller pieces of tech are known as building blocks for these digital public infrastructure, and we call it digital public goods. So, for example, we got our vaccination certificates from CoWIN. Now, CoWIN use credential for credential management. CoWIN used DIVOC. DIVOC is an open source piece of technology. All of us have Aadhaar cards, and Aadhaar card uses DPG, which is known as MOSIP for digital identity systems. So these are certain open source pieces of technologies which are helping us in our lives, which are helping improve our lives, making our lives easier. For example, someone who has Aadhaar cards, they find it easier to get benefits from the government as compared to a person who does not have Aadhaar card. So this is how these pieces of tech we are also using. They are making lives easy for people at a population scale, but till now, I'm sure that many of us would not have known about it. And this is where C4GT comes in the entire picture. But before that, there are certain problems that these pieces of tech face. So, what are those problems? So, the first problem is that long-term maintenance. So, these pieces of tech are usually funded by the government or philanthropically. Therefore, they face certain sustainability and long-term maintenance challenges. And the products that I am talking about, these products are supported by very lean tech teams. So not very big tech teams, not very lavish tech teams, very lean tech teams, very lean and humble. So uh, long-term maintenance is definitely one challenge. Second challenge is enabling adoption. Since your tech team is very small, the bandwidth is also very limited, because of which you cannot support and help people customize the core product. And the next thing is sustaining communities. Since all of this is in open source and open source products have communities around them, so these organizations kind of also feel problems in, sustaining their open source communities. So where does C4GT come into the picture? C4GT community bridges the gap between the organizations and the community of developers. So as you can see here, there is a layer of the DPGs and Tech for Good organizations, and then there is a layer of community of developers. In between C4GT with our initiatives, we are trying to bridge the gap. The organizations require contributors, they require developer support, while the community of developers, they require opportunities, they require the opportunity to, work on real life problems. So C4GT is coming into the picture and we are bridging this gap through various initiatives. Now, one of those initiatives is dedicated mentoring program, regarding which all of us are here, and we'll be talking about that in detail. But before that, I'll quickly skim through the other three initiatives written. So first is the open community. So in the open community, we have certain projects listed throughout the year, which people can contribute to. Campus Leaders Program, we have nearly 25 campus leaders across colleges in India and abroad. And then DPG Dialogues is an ecosystem convening, which happens every year. So this is the snapshot of the current C4GT community. We have 16 active organizations, 21,000 plus individuals on Discord, 250 plus projects listed, 100 plus active contributors, and we have closed 150 plus projects. So these are 55 organizations that Code for GovTech has collaborated with in the past 3 years. Many of these are very familiar names. For example, the National Health Authority, Ministry of Information and Technology. We also have the eager Foundation, Moja Loop, Bhashini, UNICEF we also have worked with. So these are certain organizations that C4GT has worked with in the past 3 years. Now coming to the thing we are here for. So what exactly is dedicated mentoring program? So this is the fourth round of dedicated mentoring program in 2025. The idea is that the selected students and working professionals, they contribute on the tech pieces that we talked about under the guidance of a dedicated mentor, and they work closely with DPG builder and adopter organizations on problem statements which have a population scale impact. So net, the idea is that we talked about certain organizations that are building open source pieces of tech which improves the lives of people on a population level. Now these organizations require development support. So we are getting into kind of an internship with them for a period of 3 months, wherein we work one-to-one with these organizations under the guidance of a dedicated mentor. And for that, we get a stipend of rupees 1 lakh for 3 months. And this stipend actually depends upon, the project being completed successfully. So one-to-one mentorship, perspective from GovTech leaders, contribution to open source, and access to peer learning is the key value proposition. Now, let's look at the selection process. So there are certain tech for good organizations. These organizations come and list their projects with us. Now, these projects also have mentors assigned, and then the community of developers, they submit their proposals. These proposals get shortlisted, and on the basis of that, the selections happen. And then we map the contributors one-to-one with the organizations. Now, one of the organizations marked here is Wikipedia. All of us know of what Wikipedia is. And we cannot imagine, at least I cannot imagine completing high school and college projects without Wikipedia. So Wikipedia is an open source piece of tech which has made our lives easy. That open source piece of tech is known as a digital public good. It is a digital good used by the entire public, and it creates some good social impact. The idea with Wikipedia is that it enables in knowledge dissipation. So that is where Wikipedia is creating its impact, making knowledge and information very easily accessible. So moving on next. This is a snapshot from DMP 2024 that we had nearly 2,600 proposals from 1,500, nearly 1,500 unique applicants. And out of that, 103 contributors were shortlisted. The number 103 is actually coming from the number of projects. So last year we had 103 projects, and each project has one contributor. So that is why 103 contributors were shortlisted from the entire pool. These are the outcomes of DMP 2024. So out of 103, we got 90 production ready projects. Now, why production ready project? This simply shows that the quality benchmark is very high. So the projects that we take in for DMP, after 3 months, they have to be production ready for the organization. Simply putting it again, the quality benchmarks are very high. Now we also have overall, we had 25,000 plus hours of coding, user research, and design. So in DMP 2024, we had two tracks. First was a coding track, second was a UI UX and product usability track. Now, paired with this 25,000 plus hours of coding, we had 1,400 plus hours of mentoring by the org and angel mentors. So when you are putting all these efforts, you're also supported by the mentors. And then out of these contributors, 60 plus went forward and became the maintainers of their products. So they're still associated with the organizations. And like in open source, you can become a maintainer. So these guys have become the maintainers of the projects. So these are some certain projects from DMP 2024. For example, Aryan built a speech recognition model that works offline for Nipun Lakshya app. So what is Nipun Lakshya app? It is an application that uh, focuses on the fundamental skills of school students. So he built a speech recognition using Bhashini, which is an Indian language translation system. Now, Tejas, he introduced facial recognition in health centers to prevent patient data duplication. Now, Suchita, she automated tracking and monitoring of security risks. So, Mojalu basically works around payments, so it is monitoring and tracking of security risks around that only. So, these are certain examples that while working in DMP, you get to work on very high impact projects. For example, what Aryan did is helping make learning easier for the school students. What Tejas did is helping healthcare workers across India. What Suchita did is helping mitigate security risks by Mojilu. So all of this, all the projects, these are pivoted, and these projects are focused on impact. That is the key takeaway. Now, like I talked about, DPG Dialogues is an annual convening which we have after DMP. And in this, everyone in the ecosystem we are talking about, for example, like the people from these organizations, dear DPG DPI builders, and other ecosystem leaders, they come to DPG Dialogues, discuss their learnings, discuss their way forward, and in the event, those contributors from DMP 2024, they get to set up a stall. So in that kiosk, many attendees can visit and understand how they made impact using their coding skills. So these are the DMP contributors presenting at DPG Dialogues. We have Aaron here, Mustafa, Tejas is standing here. So we had different contributors present. So now let's come to the timeline for DMP 2025. The applications open on 7th of April, and on 21st of April, we have a second list of projects to be released. So on 7th of April, we have project list 1. Applications are open. 21st, we release a second list of projects for DMP. And then eventually the applications close on 5th of May. We announce the entire cohort on May 15th. Coding period starts on 1st June and it ends on 31st August. So between May 15 and June, you'll be having boot camps also. So before DMP, you have a boot camp. And when the coding period starts, it's a 3 month long thing. So in between, you have a midpoint review so that is a midpoint review. You have weekly goals and targets. We'll get into all of that. So you have a midpoint review, and towards the end, you have a endpoint review, which are kind of gates and checkpoints for your entire project. So let's come to the question, which must be in minds of a lot of people, that how do we boost our selection chances in DMP now that the applications are not open yet? So how to boost your application selection chances? You can first join the Discord community, and in the Discord community, link your GitHub profile with Discord. Then you can start contributing to the GitHub repositories of the participating organizations. After that, there is a Google form which is available. You can fill in that form, share the link of the issue you are working on, and then you can let us know through that form that this is one of the projects that I have worked on. Now let's understand how is it helping you. For example, you want to work with Piramal Swasthya. So if even before opening of applications, if you can go and close one of the issues with Piramal Swasthya, then that definitely shows that you have some good experience in open source. And also, in order to close that issue, you would have understood the code base and everything required to close that issue with regard to Piramal Swasthya. So that is why the nudge that before opening of applications, if you guys can go to the repositories and close these issues, find issues, work on them, raise a PR, merge it, then that is something which would definitely help. But closing an issue is just not enough. You'll also have to let us know that you have closed the issue. So that is why there's a form attached and you can use it. So when you join the community, um, on the authorized page, there is this register button. You have to press on this button, link your GitHub and Discord because it channelizes the entire flow for us. Then the next thing is that this list will be available. It is also available on the C4GT website. This is list of GitHub repositories, and then you can, according to the tech stack or according to your interest, you can open the repository of that organization, find a suitable issue, contribute to it, and then after having contributed to it, you can fill up this form and let us know that you have contributed to the entire thing. So this is all about how do you boost your chances. And I'll quickly get back to the timeline. And Tanishq, now if you can, kind of take us a bit deeper into the entire process of DMP, then that would be helpful.
Yes, I can just share my screen.
Yeah.
Just give me a second. Is my screen visible?
Yeah.
Yeah. So hi everybody. As Pratham mentioned that we partner up with multiple organizations who post their projects with us. It is very similar to the Google Summer of Code and other fellowship programs that you must have seen, where multiple organizations just share their uh, issues on GitHub, and we just collate them at one place. And this is what you see is the list from DMP 2024, where there are 103 projects across both coding and design tracks. So what you can do is when the applications go live, this is project or table also goes live on our GitHub wiki page. The link will be shared shortly on our social platforms. What you can do is of course, you should join our Discord community channels. And if you have any queries regarding the projects, if you have any ideas or any queries regarding the application process, we'll be happy to guide you via dedicated channels on our Discord. And we will also upload a video tutorial once all the projects are live, guiding you through the application from writing a good proposal and what kind of projects have we have hosted this year. And just nudging you on if you have any active open source contributions in your in the open repos that Pratham had shared. And if you want to accelerate that process and want to share the proof with us, then we can also connect after this session. So this is the list from last year, and I'll just share this link over chat after this call. And what we have is basically there will be a simple Google form or a SurveyMonkey form that will be released. Uh, where last year we had partnered up with Unstop, but this year we'll be either moving to another platform or just sharing a Google form for all of you to submit your proposals. And what we have is basically we have defined this template where all the proposals that come in for any project for DMP, there is the defined template where you fill in your basic details, your technical skills, and this is one of the applications that we received for the projects for released by MOSIP in the contribution sprint that started in February. MOSIP, if you don't know, is the building block of the Aadhaar technology that Pratham had mentioned about. So, MOSIP being the DPG and Aadhaar being the DPI is how we onboarded them into the ecosystem. And what they had was they wanted to implement so they have a identity credentialing system where in which it is very similar to blockchain, where there is a ledger of information that gets added, and there is a revocation, addition, and edit feature on that particular identity information. What they wanted was to add a revocation feature and improve it to for it to deploy anywhere. So all the countries, all the organizations using MOSIP wanted to go through this additional feature of editing the identity details without tampering over with the overall ledger, without using blockchain, and with simple deployment. And this was one of the projects. So there is like a summary where with the vision, there are project details where the contributor just explained through the understanding what will be the components involved here, uh, what will be the setup, what will be the basic implementation plan, and the more details you go into the implementation and the milestones, what kind of APIs you want to build, what kind of intermediary support that you will need from the organization to update that particular project or update that particular pull request. That will add to your application quality as well. So these are the steps that the contributor had highlighted. There are several solutions or several approaches mentioned here with key risks and key steps involved in this involved in applying to this project. And there are multiple resources and in literature that has been referenced to make up the final part of the quality proposals. There are the milestones that they want to cover. So with DMP, once the projects are live, since the overall period is of 3 months, then the 12-week milestones, each week has a separate milestone that needs to be covered. There is a very high intensive effort that is needed, and there is just general information that you share about yourself, your motivation to apply to this. And here is where you add your previous contributions in the open source. So as you can see, the contributor had contributed to Sunbird, which is an education DPG which is maintained by Step Foundation in India. He had contributed to this particular project and he has linked it here with the PR that he had raised as a proof. And this makes the overall process and the proposal quality. The overall application process is pretty straightforward. You just apply to the project, select your favorite project. You add three preferences, preference one, preference two, and preference three of the project. Add a proposal for each particular preference and following the similar format. And basis your quality of proposals, you will receive a callback from the organization for an interview or a further assessment before the coding period starts. I'll take a pause for any questions. Everyone sharing the questions in the chat can just unmute themselves and ask the question here itself. I'm not able to read the questions that are coming in the chat. Just a second. So Zaif Azad asked for a bunch of issues organizationally. So Zaif, if it's because the organization might not be able to review the PR that you make right now before the application gets reviewed. So you can just link the PR there because PR getting merged and you raising a PR are two very different things. You raising a PR and that having like multiple details of the work you've done, that proof is enough for the to act just to boost your chances in getting recognized in DMP. So the review does not matter. And if the quality of the PR is good, then the organization mentor will, of course, reach out to you to give any feedback or just tell you that the PR is merged. Sneha, so open source contribution can be anything, but preferably for the orgs that Pratham had just listed. So, earlier we used to restrict the contributions to the ones that are posted in our open community website. But this year we have opened it to organizations who have participated with us in DMP and via other initiatives. So you can just go through their repositories and just start exploring there. There are ample issues open there. So we have requested them to add the mentors to add a tag of help wanted or any documentation or in a type bug, which might be a good first issue for you to start. So these repositories have been selected very carefully by our team just for you to get started on your open source journey. Shashank, Discord link will be available on our platforms. So I can just share the invite after this session. The projects list will be live on 7th April and more. That is where you can start applying and browsing through the projects. Aditya, I've answered the question. Ishan, you can join the Discord community where we have pinned the list of repositories. So there you can just find all the repositories, and if there are any questions, you can tag me or Pratham just to get a sense of how to contribute to them. Template for drafting proposal will also be the same. It will be linked into the form and the GitHub page that we make live, and I can share the link here as well. You So Rishabh, you can just start contributing right now because after April 8th, you will be just applying to the project that you want to apply for. And by then you need some active PRs there, and you will take at least a week to go through the documentation, go through the issues, and raise a PR for one issue. So you start. I'll suggest you start contributing right away. Hi Rakshit, there's no condition here as such. The program is open to all, be it a working professional or a student. Most students are the major proportion of the applicants here because they have the time and between the June to September period. But working professionals and other individuals are open to apply as well. Hi Piyush, the C4GT tag is not necessary to make those contributions. So the C4GT tag is necessary for them to upload their projects on our website. But since this is an open organic drive, you can just start contributing to any of the issues that they have open right now. Aditya, there is no eligibility criteria. There is just a quality of your proposal and the time. If you can commit, there you are eligible to apply. Ishan, you do not contribute to those orgs. Pratham, I'll request you to share the sheet link where we have linked all the repositories. They are also listed on our GitHub and Discord pages as well. The 2024 organizations, some of them are participating in 2025 as well, but several are not. So I'll request you to only participate or only contribute to the projects that we share via the open drive that we're doing. Jayant, all the past projects have been closed. There will be new projects that are coming in. Priyanshu, any specific tech stack? Yes, Java and JavaScript are the most popular tech stacks right now. So Nest.js, Next.js, Angular is something that Stack is something that you can get familiar with to just have a lot of projects to browse on. Harshit, I've answered that question. Yes, Uzef, you can ask any questions on Discord. You can just tag me or Pratham or any of the community managers or the mentors there. So we will help you out on the application there. And one, the timeline is not similar to GSOC. We have released the timeline. 7th April is where the projects go live, and 5th May is where the applications stop, and 19th May is when we announce the cohort. And from June to September will be the coding period. Yeah, I hope I've answered all of the questions here. If there are any further questions, I'll just request you to unmute yourself and ask because the chat might not be visible to all very easily. Yes, Sidhu, the criteria is similar. 25% weightage for solving for open source contributions. Solving is not necessary. Raising a PR or having any active open source presence is enough. Aditya, the organization list for DMP will be made live on 7th April. Right now, the open source contributions, open source repos that you can check are also shared in the chat by Pratham. If there are any other questions on the type of org, the projects, and the tracks that we are running this year, I'll be happy to take them. But I believe the open repo contribution part is clear now. I think that the 25% criteria is that when you send in your proposal, there are several aspects that we consider while evaluating that proposal, us and the organization alike. And so we have reserved a 25% of that particular score you get on the proof that you have contributed or you are interested in the open source repos that are available out there. Yes. Uzair, the proposal will be submitted for the project that you are writing it for. For example, if you are interested in organization Y, then you are writing a proposal for organization Y via the form released by C4GT. The application will be live on the C4GT page itself. Yes, Prakhar, any open source repo, any open source program ka proof will be enough. Preferably for the repos that we have shared, a little higher for that, but any proof of your work will work just to increase your chances. Pratham, can you share the Discord link? I cannot find it on our page. And we can pin that
Yeah,
message.
sure.
Ashutosh, of course, you can start anytime. There is like only 15, 16 days left for the applications to go live. But you can take another 3, 4 weeks to understand organization's code base and raise a PR. And then you can just link that PR in your application as a proof. So just take out enough time to make that contribution and then write a quality proposal there as well. So both factors really come in there. Your overall profile, your interest in open source, your proof of contribution in open source, and then your quality of the proposal. Quality of the proposal makes 50% of the proposal scoring that we do. Ridankar, I've answered this question. So you can just go through all the repos that we have listed and preferably those. And you can contribute to any other repo in the open source out there as well. Just link the proofs and we can just incorporate that. Right. Jayant, you cannot contribute to the 2024 projects because they have been closed. You have to wait for the project list for the 7th for writing the proposals. And before that, you can find any issue on the repositories that we have shared to increase your chances in DMP 2025. Krishna, the remaining 25% of evaluation is dependent on the organization. There are several aspects that the organization considers while selecting a proposal or selecting a candidate, so that we cannot disclose here. But if it's a quality proposal and you have proof of contribution in the open source, then I don't think you have anything to worry about. Then the proposal will be submitted on the form that we release on 7th April. There will be a separate page that will be created for the 2025 projects. There only the tutorial of applying and the list of the projects and the Google form will be linked. Yes, Ritu, if you have experience in working on tech or any other projects, like so basically the open source repo is like a proof that you are interested in contributing. If you have any active experience in working on such projects in your resume, then it will increase your chances as well. Okay, got the regards to that. Actually, it depends on project to project. There might be certain projects that are DevOps focused or like backend focused, where certain features or certain applications have already been developed, and you have to improve the performance or deployment style or any refactoring of the code that is needed. So that is also there. And then there are projects that you can start from scratch as well. So if there are any databases available and you have to create new APIs to edit new records in the database, or you want to create a new web page for your particular application, of which the backend is already developed. Backend APIs are already developed, and you have to link them to the front end. So front end is something that you'll have to pick from scratch. Right, Uzair? This is clear.
Yeah, but I just want to point out one thing, Uzak, that the number of PRs that you raise, that does not actually matter. It should also have some quality aspect to it. So you cannot just keep on raising PRs and them not of being of good quality to be merged. The idea is a merged PR definitely looks better than five raised PRs. So every PR you raise, that must be valuing both your time and the mentor's time. And it should be any PR you raise should be on a quality that it can be merged. If it is not being merged at that time, then that's a different story. But you have to be cognizant of the fact that the quality has to be at a back benchmark. Yeah, Tanish, you can go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Pratham. Just plus one to that. Anuj, if the organization does not respond to the issue, you are still free to raise that PR. If you even if you are if someone else is assigned to the issue, you can raise a PR because issues are not exactly linked to pull requests on GitHub. You can still reference that issue in your pull request, and it will be considered while accepting your application. Yes, Krishna, the contributions are expected to be in the repos that are shared. Rishabh, the last date of applications will be 5th May for both the batch 1 projects and batch 2 projects. Chandan, there will be machine learning projects. There is a dedicated AI track that we have introduced this year. So last year there was a traditional coding track where backend, front end, DevOps, and other blockchain level projects were there. This year there are design projects here as well, where we'll be focusing on user research, UI, UX development, etc. And there will be AI related projects which will leverage agentic frameworks and model improvement technologies and other projects that are auxiliary on the AI domain. Everything will be mentored by quality mentors in the AI domain. Yes, and the last year project from Bhashini, which focused on reducing the size of the ASR model, which Aryan had made. So that was also completely focused on improving the machine learning part of it. Anmol, you can send in three proposals, preference one, two, and three for different projects. Pratmesh, you do not have to fill the Google form every time. You can just, once you've raised like one or two PRs, you can just link them one time before applying to the DMP project that you're interested for, and link that PR in the final form itself. Yes, Archie. So the open source basically works like this, that there are large pool of contributors that are interested on a particular project. Then we onboard those organizations for which there is interest, where that is why we shortlisted those repositories. DMP contribution sprints and open community initiatives that we run. Just connect them to the talented contributors and who are willing to contribute to those organizations on a short to medium term basis. And so, for example, if 10 contributors are selected for one particular organization, eight of them pass the midpoint and endpoint reviews, and four or five of them continue on a long term basis to be maintain the code that they've contributed to, or just mentor other students that are now looking to contribute to that particular product. So that is how the maintenance of open source products work out. And there are like several cases where organizations offered PPOs and full-time engagement roles to the folks who completed DMP. Yeah. Are there any other questions about the type of projects, about listing, and what will actually happen during the coding period? And be happy to take those. Pratham, is there anything else we need to cover? I think more or less the topics are covered. If there's anything else, we can do that.
I
And if
think
there are
with
any broader questions, I'll request you to unmute yourself and ask them, because the chat might not be visible to the ones who joined from phone. Yes.
so
Pratham,
I
sorry.
can
Yes.
quickly just flash the timeline again. And Tanishq, also before I do that, I've just sent you something. If you could just check it out. So guys, this is the timeline for DMP, as we have all gotten our questions cleared about uh, the entire timeline and all the technicalities. So again, I'll reiterate the entire thing. The application is open on 7th of April. The second listing of projects is on 21st, and the applications close on 5th of May. The idea is that the applications close for both the projects listing on 5th of May. So it's not that the second list of projects has another deadline sort of. Both of them have the same deadline. We announce the cohort on 15th of May. And then the coding period starts on 1st of June, ends on 31st of August. So, yep, guys, that is it. If you have any questions, you can ask. You can tag us in the chat box, or the links of Discord and also the link of the Google Sheet. Both of them are available on the website. You can go and check it out there. And the link to this session would also be available on both Discord, LinkedIn, YouTube, and the website. So you can check out all of that. And you can ping me or Tanishq on the Discord server. There's a separate section for queries. So if you have anything to ask, you can ask them.
There is one question in the chat that hi Jiti. So as a beginner in the tech industry, someone who's just building their tech stack, is it possible to get selected this year? Yes, Jiti, it depends on the quality of the proposal and the intent that you showcase while writing the application. So yes, it is very definitely beginner friendly. But if you have the relevant experience, if you have the particular interest in open source, that will get highlighted while selecting the applicants. But yes, beginners are welcome to apply as well. This overall report drive that we drew is just something to increase the chances and introduce the ones who have just gotten to know about open source, just getting them like 2 to 3 week head start while before applying to DMP. Hi, Chandan and Shashank. This PPT will not be shared via the PDF, but it is visible on YouTube. Uh, if you
Hmm.
can just go through the session recording again.
Also, guys, I'm linking the presentation in the Google Sheet only. So
Yeah.
you can go to the website. On the website, it has two buttons. So the button where it says boost my chances for DMP, You can click on that. That takes you to the Google Sheet. Google Sheet has the list of repositories, the Google form, and also the link to this presentation.
Hmm. Chandan, if you haven't linked your GitHub account to Discord, then you will not be able to send in messages. So that is how you can check if it's linked or not. Sidhu, there will be one-to-one mapping of the project to the contributors. There are expected to be around 100 to 120 projects this year. So there will be like 100 to 120 contributors who are selected for each project. Yes, if there's anything else on your mind, anything about the application, about the proposal, about the coding period, about the types of organizations that are expected this year, then I'll be happy to take those questions as well. Otherwise, we can wrap the session.
Rishabh, not all your PRs need to be merged before filling the form. It always helps if the PR gets merged. But the idea is that the PR, if you have also raised it and it is of good quality, then it will definitely help you. But PR being merged actually depends upon the organization as well. So all the PRs being merged is something which is not mandatory. It is appreciated but not mandatory. Okay, we told about a cohort period. Hmm.
Then there is no cohort period, there is a coding period.
Yeah.
Where which from June to September, once you're selected on the project and you have set up your local environment, you are onboarded to the documentation, you have connected with the mentor once. Then there is the coding period where weekly our team and the mentor will connect with you just to understand if the milestone has been met or not. And then during the coding period, there will be reviews at the 6 week and the 12 week mark with the ecosystem experts and the review panel, just to understand what the kind of quality of contribution or the progress that you've made is on track on. That is the coding period. Okay, so I think we are on time. We can
Yes.
conclude the session. Archie, it is definitely not compulsory to get assigned the issue. If you can raise a PR without being assigned on an issue as well. You can just reference that particular issue on the PR and get started. Gautam, there are expected to be several ML projects this year. But instead of core ML, I'll suggest to get familiar with AI agent frameworks and just leverage ML as part of that framework. So that will be more helpful for this year's projects.
Okay, it's nearly 8 p.m. I think we can call it out. We'll select as okay.
All right. If there are any other queries or any other issues that you might come up regarding the open source contributions and the DMP applications, then you are happy to
Yeah.
join our Discord community and engage in the discussions that are going on there. And we will also be updating the FAQ section of our website. So most of the things that are covered today will be get updated there as well. So
Yes.
requesting you to go through both the GitHub and our website and join our Discord community at the same time.
And also, there's one question in the chat box. So, Krishna, when you enter the Discord server, it will first take you to the authorized channel. So there you have to authorize. Just click on it, and then that will take you to GitHub, and the page will show success. So that is how it gets linked. And for Sidhu, okay, so there are different organizations that are listing different projects, and each of those projects they has certain requirements. So, Sidhu, I think you should focus on those requirements and how can you give a good proposal. So that is what I think you should be doing. And yep, I think we're now good to go. Good. Check out the hash authorize. Okay. Cool, guys. I'll be ending this meet for all.
Pratham, just 1 second. There is one question that in which channel should they ask questions?
Okay. So, Uzaf, you can ask questions in the general channel also, but it is always better to ask questions in the query section. So, there is a query section also, and then the question there comes out as a thread, and we can have an entire conversation, and others can also see it. So, you can ask that in the query section. Cool. I think I'll be stopping the recording.